Hi everybody, today I would like to talk to you about the breath as a tool for self-mastery and why all leaders should be using the breath in order to make better decisions and to perform better. Firstly, I would like to talk about the breath as a tool for self-awareness and cultivating deeper awareness of ourselves. Now this is important because the more we can understand our mind and the more we can feel into our body and our emotions, the better decisions we can make that are more in alignment with our truth and can ultimately take us more in alignment to where we truly want to be. Breathwork and breathing meditations are a great preliminary for traditional meditation, which is really all about developing the awareness within and coming into the present moment. However, if you are somebody who's a very busy person to just sit there and find some stillness, they're going to struggle. But through doing breathing meditation, it's actually a lot easier because we're actively doing something. We're actively focusing on manipulating the breath in a certain way for a certain goal. So in this sense, it's a lot easier to begin to cultivate this inner awareness by connecting with the breath before meditation. Now, once we can become more observant of our mind, we can actually tune in more to the patterns of the mind. We can observe the self-talk that we have. We can observe those things that aren't necessarily serving us and aren't necessarily taking us to where we truly want to be. Once we observe the patterns of the mind and we understand how our mind works, we can truly begin to reprogram that mind on a conscious and a subconscious level. Now, using the breath as a tool to integrate the mind into the body is an amazing way for us to really tune into our emotions. Now, the breath is intricately linked to our emotional state. When we're anxious, the breath changes very quickly. When we are laughing, the breath changes very quickly. When we're shocked, the breath changes very quickly. So what this means is that actually the breath can manipulate our emotional state. But moreover, it allows us to really feel our emotions. Often when people just want to stop feeling, they'll just stop breathing and hold the breath. But then also what we can do is if we truly want to actually feel our emotion rather than suppressing it and repressing it, we can actually breathe deep into the lower parts of our belly and tune in and feel it. And obviously what comes with this deeper self-understanding is a more obvious inner compass of what is true for us and what's right for us. So that can help us to make better decisions that are more in alignment with ourselves. Additionally, through the stillness that is created through breathing meditation, it makes space for our inner wisdom and inner intuition and clarity to come through. The way I like to envision this is an analogy of water. If you were to try to look through a choppy sea to the seabed, you're not going to be able to see to the depths. However, if the water is very still and very calm, then we can see deep within. Similarly, once we are able to still the mind, then we can actually make space for the inner wisdom and inner guidance and inner intuition to come through. I often experience profound moments of clarity and wisdom and receive downloads in my meditation and breathwork practices that generally really help me to understand what I need to do in my day-to-day life. And those pieces of information that our internal wisdom really wants to come through will come through in those breathwork meditations. My second reason is that the breath is a powerful tool, if not the most powerful tool that we have for reducing stress and calming anxiety, which is especially important in today's day and age, and especially important if you're working in a high stress or high pressure environment. Many studies have shown the ability for deep breathing and just a few simple conscious breaths to reduce cortisol levels, one of the main stress hormones in the body. And you can see this reflected in some of our colloquial language, such as take a breather or take a few deep breaths. Intuitively, we know that just by having a few gentle sighs or deep breaths, then we can calm ourselves down very quickly. And if you look at people when they sigh, it's often when people are a little bit frustrated or a bit stressed out, and it's almost like an intuitive evolutionary mechanism that just helps us to calm. Now, by working with the breath in specific ways, by slowing down the breath, by elongating the breath, by breathing using the diaphragm, by breathing smoothly and calmly and gently, and really inviting that breath to flow deep within us, then we can easily hack into our autonomic nervous system and calm the sympathetic part of that nervous system, down-regulating and soothing us, making us feel very calm and relaxed. So by working with the breath in these specific ways and building this habitual breathing functionality within us, then actually it can be a fantastic preventative tool for stress and a fantastic tool to manage stress when it arises. So this is a powerful tool for our toolkit. This point is deeply linked to my first point around self-awareness, but it's actually developing and cultivating intuition, or what I often refer to as the heart's intuitive wisdom. When somebody says to you to follow your intuition, sometimes it's hard to actually know what that means. When somebody says follow your gut instinct, it's kind of a bit difficult to know what that is, especially if we're disconnected from our body. However, by using the breath to connect deeply with the sensations in our body, we can actually tune into our inner truth. Again, you can see this in language that we use in society, like follow your heart. And if you actually think about what that means, the heart is effectively being used as an emotional compass. It's the center of our emotional truth. You know, when something just doesn't feel right and you can't really explain it on a mental level, there's this wisdom within. There are actually way more signals sent from your heart to your brain than from your brain to... It's easy to think that our analytical mind is always running the game, especially because in our society as a whole, we're very in the head and we're very heady. But actually, there is a deeper wisdom and a deeper emotional truth that often comes through dictating actually our motivations and where we end up going in our lives. In fact, there's actually neurons in the heart similar to those in the brain, creating this kind of mini brain inside the heart. There's also an institute called the HeartMath Institute that have measured the electromagnetic field radiating from the heart that is 5,000 times stronger than the brain. Why this is important is because there is a specific breathing technique called resonant frequency breathing or heart coherence breathing that can instantly bring your heart, mind and body into a state of harmony and coherence. This is a very powerful technique that actually harmonizes your nervous system, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, bringing them into a balance and alignment. Now, when this happens, this increases our heart rate variability and our heart rate actually becomes a lot more coherent. Now, if you look at this on EEGs, it looks very similar to people who are experiencing profound feelings of love and gratitude. So what I like to do is use this breathing practice to connect with my heart's wisdom by harmonizing my respiratory rate with my heart rate. So I lie down, connect with the beats in my heart, and will breathe for 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out, feeling my heartbeat, reconnecting with this emotional center within me. And often wisdom will come through in that space and I will receive guidance from a deeper part of myself. One of the most powerful things about breathwork, especially the deep dive transformational breath, is its ability to heal subconscious blockages and subconscious traumas that may be holding you back without you even realizing. For instance, past traumas may have left emotional and energetic imprints on our physical and our mental state of being, and these may have been perpetuating different actions and behaviors on a subconscious level without us even realizing. One example of this is if we're told by our parents growing up that we're not good enough and that we can't achieve, and this has effectively traumatized our self-worth, and as a result of that trauma, limiting beliefs will arise in the individual, such that we may say things to ourselves like, I am not good enough, I am not worthy, I can't do that, and that ends up becoming self-fulfilling. The reason why this carries so much weight within us is the unresolved emotional imprint and emotional attachment that is still residing in the body. However, once we can actually shift that emotional baggage and go back to heal the shadow within us, then we actually free up this energy and can begin to reprogram the subconscious and limiting beliefs. Through deep dive breathwork, we're able to release and process and integrate emotions from the past that have been left unresolved. This truly frees us up in so many ways. These heavy weights that may have been holding us down for so long without us even being aware of them can actually be released and processed and integrated. It helps us to get to the root cause of the issues instead of just trying to resolve the symptoms. So by releasing the emotional imprint and emotional trauma of the past, we release the subconscious blockages. If we don't have these regulating mechanisms, then we can actually harvest trauma throughout our lives. And if we don't have a way to release that emotion and actually to shift our state of being and integrate our state of being and regulate our state of being, then this can just keep building and building until it comes out in different ways, like physical illness or mental illness. Panic attacks, for instance, are an example of this. Finally, I want to talk about reprogramming the subconscious mind. I have been working for many years to reprogram my subconscious mind to release limiting, fear and doubt-based beliefs about myself and about my reality. And as a result, I'm seeing my reality change. I'm very intentional about what I consume, what my mind consumes, what I read, and also how I talk to myself. I'm very aware of the different things that I say to myself, and I'm really observant of when they don't really serve me and they're not what my ideal self would truly say to myself. I've developed and cultivated self-awareness over a long period of time by using practices like the breath awareness, bodily awareness, and developing my capacity to look inwards. My mum even used subconscious reprogramming through affirmation and visualization and meditation to heal herself from cancer. She had stage 4A lymphoma cancer when I was 13 years old, and she used these practices, ultimately leaving her in a state where the cancer had gone and the doctors had no idea how the cancer had disappeared. This is the power that we hold within us if we understand our actual power as conscious, creative individuals with limitless potential, if we know how to tap into it using the mind and using these technologies like breath work. One of the best ways that we can do this by using the breath is by using the breath to get into a very deep state of relaxation, by using specific breathing practices to actually change our brain waves such that our subconscious is much more receptive. For instance, when you're about to go to sleep or in the morning when you wake up, you're in an alpha brainwave, which is much more receptive to subconscious reprogramming. So by doing breath work in the morning, specifically to deeply relax us, then putting on some subconscious affirmation audios. For instance, what I've done is actually recorded my affirmations, the things that I want to create, the person that I want to become, and I listen to that in the morning when I'm doing my breathwork meditation, when I'm in a very deeply relaxed and receptive state. So we can use the breath to hack our brainwaves and to hack our nervous system into a more relaxed, receptive state of being. And then when we're in this state, we can either visualize being in our ideal self, or we can listen to audios, affirmations that again are affirming to us our ideal self and the person that we want to be living the life that we want to be creating and living. So we're using the breath as a tool to release subconscious blockages and then actually instill and imprint new subconscious beliefs that are much more expansive and much more positive for us in our day-to-day lives. In the coming weeks, I will be releasing some subconscious affirmation reprogramming breathwork flows to help you to get into that deeply relaxed state of being where you can begin to reprogram your subconscious. So make sure to subscribe to the channel to stay in touch. Ping the notification button to make sure you receive notifications when we upload. I would also love to hear from you, so if you have any guidance that you would like to receive, if you have any questions, please go ahead and pop that in the comments section and I'll make sure to get back to you. Okay, I look forward to sharing with you again, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day.